So as Star Wars Battlefront 2 approaches its final release, naturally, more concern regarding the game's microtransaction and progression and loot box system and all that stuff in the game has been brought to the forefront. And now that a lot of people have their hands on the game thanks to EA Access and the fact that the Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition is now super close to release, we have more details on how all of this is going to work in practice. And I have to say, of course, me being really excited for this game, a lot of this stuff is pretty concerning, and I'm not a fan of a lot of these decisions that have been made, specifically regarding the unlock system and the way in which players earn credits when progressing through the game's multiplayer mode. Along with that, players have also been concerned that the amount of credits they are earning is not satisfactory, especially when these higher level heroes, which are now actually locked, unlike in the previous game, and you need to purchase them with in-game currency for a quite substantial amount of in-game currency as well. As to unlock Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, they cost 60,000 credits respectively in-game. Now that number doesn't mean a lot without context, so some players have done some math and they've figured out it takes approximately 40 or so hours in order to earn enough credits to unlock these heroes, which is just a ridiculous amount of time. But in terms of everyone saying online that EA put these heroes behind a quote-unquote paywall is absolutely incorrect. You will see a lot of people saying that, and it's not true, because in my mind at least, when people utilize the term paywall, it kind of represents, at least to me, real money with microtransactions, and that's not true. You cannot purchase the heroes with microtransactions, so you do not need to worry on that front, but you will have to grind an awful lot for them. EA and DICE has responded to this, and it is a pretty lengthy response from Dennis, the design director himself, but I wanted to go through it because it does have a lot of interesting information. He first discusses the performance equating to credits earned at the end of the match. Performance during games will affect the amount of credits you get at the end of a match. Matchmaking will take into account not only player skill, but also total game time and rarity of star cards. This means that you will be match made with players with an average performance similar to you, and to the largest extent possible, not against players who are much better than you, whether by having higher rarity cards or by showing higher skill. Heroes that are locked at launch will only be unlocked with credits, not crystals, which by the way, the crystals are the microtransaction currency of the game. The heroes, similar to the locked weapons for troopers, are side grades instead of upgrades. Darth Vader should be on similar power level as Darth Maul, etc. The goal is to keep you playing for a long time and have something cool to look forward to as you earn credits. Speaking of earning credits, we're constantly evaluating and tweaking the earn rates versus the cost of crates and heroes. The current rates were based on open beta data, but you should expect us to constantly evolve these numbers as we hit launch and onwards. There will also be more milestones that award credits and crafting parts available, as well as star cards only unlockable through those milestones. If all you want to do is play and grind towards your next unlock, that will be fully possible, and we'll continue to tweak the numbers until the requirements feel fun and achievable. So I know this has been said tirelessly in regards to this game and all of the controversy, if you will, surrounding it, but it is still great that these guys do respond to fan feedback. Whether or not they do things about it is something else entirely, but that is more on the publisher themselves, EA, as opposed to the developers. And I've seen some people sending the developers death threats and things like that. That is an absolutely atrocious thing to do, and that really is the lowest of the low in terms of how people can approach the situation in terms of making it better for all of us. Anyone who does something along those lines is a piece of garbage and is not helping anything at all. They are only making it worse for all of us who just want positive changes. And for God's sake, it's a friggin' video game. Like, honestly, for people that take these things so seriously, I suggest they go and get a life or something. But in terms of the credits earned, it is good that they are apparently going to change it. So yes, if you do play better in a match, you will be getting more credits to justify that and to reward you, which is silly. It was never there in the first place, but at least they're bringing it now, so I guess you could say it's better late than never. He also confirmed what I said earlier, in that you cannot unlock heroes with microtransactions, so anyone who was concerned about that has no need to be. But he did try to justify the fact that these heroes are so expensive with in-game currency, and I really can't see any justification for having to play 40 hours to unlock these heroes. It's absurd. I understand they want us to keep playing for a long time, but I'm not going to play the game for 40 hours to get a hero. That's absurd. I think if they want to accomplish their objective in making us play the game more and more to unlock these heroes and give us that sense of accomplishment, then just lower the price. Make them, instead of 60,000 credits, make them 20 or 15 or so thousand credits. I understand the philosophy behind the choice, but they've taken it to the absolute extreme length of just pure grinding. The best thing that can happen is that they do change the amount those heroes cost, and if I were a betting man, I will say that will happen within the next week. But it is good, once again, they're listening to fan feedback, and they are constantly tweaking the game to what we want to see, which is a very positive thing, and it is something we want to see more in the gaming community. And it is clear they're going out of their way to respond to the criticism, so I commend DICE fully for doing that. And even though I've still seen a lot of negativity and hate towards the game online prior to launch, I'm still very much anticipating the game. As a fan of Star Wars, as a fan of gaming, this is the experience I've wanted for my entire life, which I know isn't a super popular opinion on the internet these days, but that does not mean at all that I support the business model that EA is placing upon the game itself. So as always, please leave your thoughts on this topic in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, do check out some of my other content and subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. I'll see you all next time. Please do take care and farewell.